These days, many people throughout the world interested in old cars and old motorcycles. Whether it's just the pride of ownership, whether you just want to ride or drive them, is one thing you can do. My particular interest is in old racing cars, and we have a very strong movement in Australia to that effect. Now, we don't get the crowds like you do in Europe. Recent meeting in Goodwood, 150,000 people were there. In Australia, we don't get those crowds, but we do make up for it in the quality of the entries. We have some marvellous cars coming in, both factory produced and also Australian specials. Our motorcycle historic meetings are very much alive with some great motorcycles. What we hope to show you in the series of films we're going to make in the next few weeks is something of the vehicles involved with the Australian cars, the Australian motorcycles, the characters who ride and drive them. And I hope you enjoy these films and understand why a few of us are nuts about old forms of motor racing.
In Australia, historic motorcycle road racing is an increasingly popular sport. It provides an affordable and exciting entry into the racing scene for thousands of enthusiasts right across the nation. Riders usually maintain and prepare their own machines, from classics such as Triumph, AJS, Harley, Norton and BSA. Some sophisticated engineering masterpieces, others old Trojans that just won't give up. There are those magnificent men and women in their sidecars who, for a few short laps, put their ultimate trust in themselves, each other, and their machines. And of course, there's the classic and majestic beauty of the bikes themselves. But beyond all this, it's the people. Often unique characters who pit their skill and ingenuity against each other, but always in the eternal spirit of fun and competition, Australian style. David Maffatti and cameraman Darren Jones went to the Victorian Championships at Broadford and the Island Classic at Phillip Island to speak to some of them.
All right, we're just here with Russell Craddock, just getting ready to fire up and get out on the track for his event, which is the Unlimited Classic.
Yeah.
How are you finding the track down here? Do you normally race on such a big circuit, or?
Oh, it's lots of fun. Yeah. Bloody, no cops or vibos, and everybody goes the same way, so it's got to be a good thing. Right. And lots of good guys to ride with. All the bikes seem to be hanging in, not too much shit on the track.
Right, good.
So no, it's good. So far so good. So you seem to move along with it.
And you're doing okay? The bike's holding up?
Yeah, it's doing reasonable times yesterday. Down a bit what I normally do, but it's every day is a different one. So we just sort of go with the flow and keep it all as a fun thing, I think, and just see what happens from there. Right. And just see what happens. Yeah, one thing about classic racing, you always ride with your fingers crossed. Anything can happen. So.
Right. It's a bit longer down here than the little sprint track. So.
Well, actually, I don't mind it down here because it's like an endurance thing, you know. And then you've got to have something that's pretty strong, otherwise they go kaboom. And unfortunately, all of them do. But it's just more track time, so it's got to be more fun. So yeah, that's the plan.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's your bike? It's
based on a 1956 Thunderbird motor. in a on a 56 aerial frame, just to be something different because everybody else runs Nortons and what have you, and I've always been into aerials and Triumphs, so I figured, build this one, just be something different. It's been up and running for about 20 years, and it seems a happy little Vegemite. Right. Not as fast as some, but pretty reliable 9 times out of 10.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, good luck, and hope it all hangs together. And so it should, by the sounds of it. It's still going for 20 years.
Well, it's had a fair bit of development going into it, but I think if you make enough sacrifice, it's the eternal god of speed, and break a few bits here and there, and you learn from it. The end result is something you can have a lot of fun on. So that's the philosophy anyhow. It sounds good in theory. Whether it comes together or not, we'll all just see.
We'll watch you in the next race.
Right.
Good luck.
All right,
no worries.
Thank you very much. Good on you.
All right, we're here with Carl Carrick here, who's a young bloke that's doing very well. You've got a bit of a hybrid machine, a Jap Norton Special. Yeah. Tell us, how did you get into the racing and this old boys stuff?
First started racing when I was 11. That was in Darwin and stuff on little 100cc machines, and got a couple of little titles and stuff like that. And my dad built me a Jap original one, which was quite slow at the time, but to start on it was good, and loved riding it, so I kept going with the historic racing and stuff. And eventually John Treese from Treese Engineering, brilliant engineer, built the new engine from scratch, using old castings and all that kind of stuff. And it's been a great bike. It's been tuned by my dad pretty much. He's a pretty ace tuner, and it's got a few titles now. We've won the Australian title just last year and it held to lap records, South Australian title, and just got a new lap record today.
Yeah, we saw that earlier. It's flying, this thing. It's a magnificent bike. But so why don't you get into the moderns? Is there more attraction to the old bikes than the moderns, or?
I like the old bikes, but I'm trying to get into the moderns this year. It's just lack of knowing the right people, I'd say, and it's quite an expensive sport, and you really need to get sponsors and stuff like that to really help you out. But that's my aim, to try and do that this year sometime. Hopefully get into the professional league one day.
Yeah. Will you still keep playing with the classics?
Yeah, I'll always come back and have a go on the old bikes. They're great fun, and it's good racing. Great racing.
Well, we've got Cal's father here, who's also Cal. Seems to be the instigator of the racing here. How did you get involved in it?
My dad and his brothers were all mad motorcyclists, and my uncles were motorcyclists. And as I naturally got the bug as a kid, I was sitting on the bike when I was a baby, blah blah blah. And I rode motorbikes on the road a lot, but it was quite dangerous in those days, and I got hurt on the road, and I decided to take up racing. And I had a pretty happy career down here in Victoria and rode around Bathurst and all the other tracks, etc. And then I went up the territory. I was up there for about 30 years, and the boys come along and that sort of stuff, and they had trail bikes, and they wore out their 50 and their 80 and their 100 and their 125, etc., etc. And by the time Cal was about 12, they allowed him to get onto the racetrack in Darwin on the proviso that he'd done a rider's course, and they let him ride a bucket. So Cal spent a couple of years up there rolling around in buckets and banging shoulders with some of the old guys and all that sort of stuff, and he enjoyed it enough. So we just made up a bike for him out of all the rubbish that was laying around the home. We come down here down to Victoria and brought him down when he just got his licence, and he had a run around here and done quite well, and went up to Sydney, done well in Sydney. He thought, geez, I like this. So we went back home again. We decided we'd make him a bike that was a bit more competitive. And Johnny Treese is a good mate of ours, and John took an interest in it and helped with the finer engineering. We can do a bit of welding and make the plates and all that sort of stuff, and the pipes and that. And Cal's keen, he makes bits and pieces for it. And so it just sort of evolved. He come down the year after, rode well, nicely. He's a nice, safe young rider. Like he doesn't hurt the bike, he doesn't hurt himself. And this year he's come down after he won the title in Western Australia. Rode really well over there. We haven't had a chance to really touch the bike since then, but it's gone really well this weekend. And his mum and I are very, very happy that he rides so well and looks after himself. So it's sort of a pretty happy thing and a good holiday. We get away every year. So, like my version of classic racing is that it's 5% racing and about 95% bullshit in the pub after, and a great time's had by most of the competitors. So it's something that anyone should be able to get into and enjoy it, you know.
As in all forms of racing, there are strict guidelines that constitute an acceptable level of modification. But unlike the others, classic racing has the extra challenge of dealing with period authenticity. Ian Souter, a sidecar racer, designer and scrutineer, explains.
As a historic scrutineer, you're looking for age-related things that they can use within the bike to suit the certain age categories of it. They do have to look as a silhouette class, so they have to look like they were raced in the time span of their age category. They can use a certain amount of technology in them as long as they're similar capacities. They're allowed to use certain carburetors in certain age groups. They can use electronic ignitions, belt drives, as provided you don't see them. You know, you've still got the original belt covers or primary drive covers over them.
We've got Max Kinnersley here doing an engine swap on his 1961 Spanish Montesa. If you can interrupt him for a second, can you tell us a little bit about this bike?
Yes, this is a 1961 Montesa Impala road bike which has been modified for racing. We've got a Honda front wheel. It's a CB72 front wheel and CL72 front forks. The rest is Montesa with a special tank. And we've been working on this for 10 years now. We make our own expansion chambers and so on.
And it's been quite successful?
Oh, yeah, we've won a couple of Australian championships and a number of state championships, yeah. Terry Morris has been riding and I do a lot of the spanner work. Yeah, and it's been quite a bit of fun. We've just been to Perth, the Australian championships, and we had to go in the post-classic class there and we got second, so we're pretty chuffed with that.
And why did you have to go into the post-classic class?
There are insufficient numbers to qualify for a medallion for MA rules, so that's okay, we didn't mind. It's good fun, nice track.
So you did well outside your class in a later class?
Yeah, extremely well, yeah, we were quite pleased to do that, yeah, quite pleased, yeah. So now we've got an engine swap because the gearbox has decided to lock up for some reason. And so we'll have that done in about an hour and we'll be back on the track.
Okay, Michael, so what can you tell us about this gorgeous looking bike?
I purchased it at the Bendigo swap meet 2 years ago. It was just a basic 750 Atlas in stock trim. I wanted to go classic racing because my son was doing it and we could do it together, and so I purchased this bike and brought it up to what it is today. It's taken me a long time to get it to this stage, a lot of hours. Still having a lot of problems with modifying things to suit the race conditions from the standard parts. It's still got the original Norton Atlas brake on it at the moment, which cost me at Phillip Island because I come off and hit the wall beginning of this year. So I've actually ordered an Oldani brake from Italy that hopefully should have for Phillip Island this year. And today I've actually got a second place, which is the first time I've done that, which I was pretty happy about. But yeah, I've only been racing 2 years, so I'm really happy with the way things are going. Basically I've done all the work on the bike myself, made the seat, the paint job, primary cover, the whole works and jerks, all the changes from standard. And yeah, it's looking after me at the moment because it's not breaking down.
This is Max Hooper with a beautiful Rickman Matisse. What can you tell us about this bike, Max?
G'day, Mark. Well, this is a pre-60s motocross bike. It's an English-built Rickman frame with a Triumph engine. The Rickman frame were built as off-the-shelf motocross frames primarily. But the old classic motocross is a bit too rough and tough for me, so I took the bumpy tyres off and put some nice round ones on, and I use it for road racing on short circuits like this here at Broadford. Would be a bit out of puff at Phillip Island or someone like that. But it's I like the sitting up straight riding position. I find that that's fairly comfortable and easy to handle, and it makes it a lot of fun. It corners quite well. It doesn't go all that fast in a straight line. It's only a little 500 Triumph, but I like it, and it's a good, easy thing to ride. I race sidecars mainly. We've been racing sidecars now for 35 years, so I find the old solos a little bit daunting, but something a bit tame like this is a lot of fun.
Okay, Warren, so why sidecars?
Oh, they're just so much fun. A lot of these solo riders just haven't discovered how much fun a sidecar is. I ride a solo, but there's no way I'd give up riding a sidecar. One of the few fun things that hasn't been banned.
There's the classic class, which is a more motorcycle with a sidecar platform on it, and then you have post-classic, which is up to 1972. They're a kneeler bike where the rider kneels with his feet going backwards and leans over the motor. They're also call them a front exit because the passenger leans out the front of the bike. The next class, which is period 5, which is from up to 1982, from 72 to 1980 to 1980. There is a rear exit bike. The rider still leans over the motor, but the passenger leans out behind the sidecar wheel. And then the next class for modern racing is rear engine, rear exit sidecar.
So Max, you also race this sidecar. It's a bit different from the two-wheel, huh? Can you tell us about it?
Yes, I like the difference, Mark. It's a lot more stable. It's like having training wheels. I love sidecars. I've been racing sidecars for a long time. It's really the first love of mine. This particular bike is a what we call a period 4 or post-classic sidecar. It's for a class up to 1972, and that's why we use these 750 Honda engines, which is a much modified, but they're about the going thing in this up to 72 class. This particular motor is out to 1,050 in size, so it's pretty big. The frame is a replica of a Windle frame, which is the English Grand Prix frame of the time. This is a World Championship class frame at that period. Now the difference between the classes of sidecars, you can see that I kneel on this one here in these knee pads, and my feet are at the back here with the brake and the gear pedal on the other side, and we lean right forward. With the earlier type of sidecars you've seen racing, which are the sit-up type sidecars, they're for a period up to 1962, and they're more like the traditional motorcycle and sidecar where the rider sits on the seat and and it looks like they're supposed to. But these are a lot of fun, and they're very stable at high speed. They're terrific, and they're quite a good deal more comfortable than they look. And the faster the better, the more comfortable they become.
We've got another couple of guys out here swinging around on a sidecar outfit. They're here to tell us a little bit about their bike.
Well, the bike's been racing this bike as it is with no changes for the last 25 years. Before that it was my road bike. And when the rules finally drive us out of historic racing, it'll go back to being my road bike again.
It's going to go on a few modifications along the way?
I've changed the front forks in 25 years. That's the only thing I've done to it. Yeah.
It hasn't helped.
And what about passengers?
I've had a few over the years, 2 or 3 probably, but Wayne comes down from Sydney to do this, so he must really enjoy it, and he's passengered for me and probably everybody else in the pits here over the last 5 or 6 years. Yeah.
Rent a passenger, if you will.
Yeah, that's what he is, rent a passenger.
So you're game enough to hang off a lot of different bikes?
It doesn't take a lot of courage or a lot of strength. It's all about timing and that's why there's a lot of female passengers that do very well. But it's all about the harmony. It's a silent relationship, and Dave can't handle the thing without me. He'd even tip it over in the pits without me. It's good fun.
Okay, we've got John Marr here. Would you like to tell us about your bike?
It's a genuine 59 Manx Norton, 4-speed gearbox and original frame. I purchased it about 20 years ago and I've had a lot of success on it. I recently converted to a 600 to ride in the unlimited class, and I went to Perth. I got third in the Unlimited Championships in Perth. Currently second in the Victorian Championship. I enjoy racing.
All right, I'm here now with John Treese, who's been around Harleys for a long time and making them go very fast. So, you still up and going with it? Haven't lost any steam?
Oh no, age has a little bit to do with slowing up, working late nights. But this one here is the new of the two bikes. Developed it 4 years ago because the old one that young Mark Dymond rode many years ago has done that much work, and it's still going very well. But I didn't want to wear it out till it was absolutely, beyond redemption. So it comes out from time to time. A young rider I'll get a ride on, give a ride to. This one here is just about been fully developed now. We've had it running about 4 years, and of course we only run it mainly at the end of the year when we've got time away from work. So it's a slow process to get them tuned. We've got this one here. It's really singing now. It's pulling probably a bit over 165 miles an hour. It's obviously the fastest bike on the track by a mile. Front brake's a little bit sad today. We can do some work on that, and we've got a bit of a gearbox jumping out problem. We're going to change the oil, a little bit less slipperiness in the oil, and we should manage to finish the weekend quite happy, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're not the Harley's not the old traditional plugger that they...
No, it's not the old traditional plugger, but it has all the technical, the same technical improvements and the follow-on from the experience gained with that motorcycle. It's like a large V-twin engine is hard to keep going at high revs for a long time. You'll see that in the last race, one of the major competitors, he didn't last the distance. And we'll take our wins however we can get them, thanks very much, because half the race is finishing.
That's right, yep.
And a lot of classic bikes, the ones at the top end don't finish because they're under a lot of stress. This one here finishes.
That's the name of the game.
It's a little bit down on handling, but it's certainly got the speed and acceleration and everything. Yeah.
Right, it's in a sort of a featherbed frame with a few extra loops here and there to fit things in.
Yeah, well, that loop there's to clear the carburettor. I don't like it being there, but you have to use the standard frame, the standard configuration, and it's quite acceptable to. People, when they put a Vincent in that, they'll pull it apart, change the front section, bend it and loop it, and as long as you have the right, the bends and the curves and everything, steering head out, the way the configuration, as long as 95% of it, that's sort of rule of thumb, yeah. It would be acceptable to use, yeah.
This is Tony Cacchiotti, who's done very well on his bike today. Would you like to tell us a bit about your bike?
Yeah, well, basically it's a 1971 CB 754, but it's a bit sort of bigger in capacity than the original 736s. We've got them out to 1,000 and different crankshafts and pistons and cams and quite a bit of work. They're pumping out a bit over 100 horsepower, which is pretty quick for a bike that old. And also we do quite a bit of the chassis work, of course, to make them cope with the horsepower and the handling side of it, you know. I've actually had Rex Wolfenden there, who's the head man of the team there. He's actually got it handling a bit better for me. Actually, that's why I've gone a bit better today. He's the last couple of meetings have been running a bit wide on me. I just couldn't, you know, get some of the corners right. But today, no, she's been running beautiful. Yeah.
Whether you're racing your own bike or simply as a spectator, Australian historic motorcycle racing has a lot to offer. We have wonderful clubs, world-class tracks, excellent facilities. There are some stunning vehicles, both original and innovative specials. But what really shines are the people. So why don't you come and say good day at the next meeting? And here's how to contact us. And we look forward to seeing you at our next meeting.